Being healthy and in shape is what is to be desired by most of the human population today, but leave it to society to decide what healthy and in shape looks like and how it can be achieved. The media communicates all sorts of ways to attain the objectified body image through fad diets, exercise routines, and even surgeries. A new diet is currently in the spotlight and has grabbed the attention of soon-to-be brides. In this presentation, I'm going to be giving you some brief details about tube feeding and about the new tube feeding crash diet, how it makes people lose weight, and the consequences that are entailed with its use. Tube feeding is generally used medically to provide nutrition to people who cannot receive nutrition by swallowing. There are many different types of feeding tubes. According to feedingtubeawareness.com, the three most common feeding tubes are nasogastric, which runs from the nose to the stomach, gastric tube that is surgically placed into the stomach, and a jejunal tube that is surgically placed into the intestines. The feeding tube may be temporary or permanent depending on the severity of the person's condition. In the case of the tube feeding as a diet program, the duration of use depends on the amount of weight the person wishes to lose. Now that you're refreshed on the subject of tube feeding, I will elaborate on the tube feeding diet. The diet by the name KE, which stands for ketogenic enterol, claims that in the span of 10 short days, people could weigh 20 pounds less, according to Katie Zbrzinski from northwestern.edu. Zbrzinski also says that the diet entails the nasogastric type of feeding tube, which delivers a continuous drip of protein, fat, and water mixture that contains no carbohydrates whatsoever. This concoction then streams through the tube from the nose into the stomach. The patients are then only limited to drink water, unsweetened black tea, and black coffee. This method of weight loss may be new to America, but has been available in Europe for years. In Europe, it is known as the COMM, or ketogenic enteral nutrition. Dr. Oliver DePietro, a Florida physician, is the first doctor of the United States to offer this method and is currently the only one. According to Zbrzinski, the information contained in the brochure from Dr. Petro's clinic lists the mixture cost at $1,499 for the 10-day diet, and the patients visit a total of 3 times throughout its duration. Now that you're more familiar with the KE diet, I will elaborate on how people actually lose the weight. Being that the mixture of the tube feeding diet only consists of 800 calories daily from proteins, fat, and water, and a lack of carbohydrates, the human body enters into a state of ketosis. Ketosis is when our bodies use stored fat for energy. This is what Alice Park from Time.com calls the first stages of starvation. Going into a state of ketosis intentionally could lead to muscle deterioration in order to maintain your life without carbohydrates and calories. In order to make sure patients don't get to the muscle-eating stage of ketosis, Dr. DePietro claims that he monitors his patients. Knowing how this diet method causes patients to lose weight and lose weight fast, I'll proceed to tell you about the risks and consequences that may accommodate the KE diet. Dr. DePietro states possible side effects to include constipation, dizziness, and bad breath, but from Time.com, Dr. David Heber, director of the UCLA Risk Factor Obesity Program, claims that complications can include aspiration, infection of the lung, kidney failure, and erosion of tissues in the nose and the throat. Rapid weight loss achieved from the use of a feeding tube is a lot easier than putting in months at the gym or giving up foods that we love. But the protein-fat mixture lacks necessary nutrients humans need. Zbrzinski includes a quote from Teresa Lawrence, a registered dietitian, stating that the lack of nutrients and taking in only 800 calories puts most people below their resting metabolic rate. That would essentially limit activities to sedentary motion. Lawrence also signified that it is likely that patients who did lose the weight would gain back most or even all after such an unsustainable diet. In this presentation, I've informed you that tube feeding and the KE diet, how it makes people lose weight, and the risks and consequences it involves. The KE tube feeding diet is an option for short-term weight loss, while practicing healthy eating habits and proper exercise are the more long-term options. Both methods contribute to weight loss and entail risks and consequences of their own. With American society pushing for a specific body image, people are left with many different approaches to achieve what is advertised, but it is up to you to decide your course of action.